Hello and welcome back to day number 2 of the first ever ESL Pro League APAC finals. We brought 8 teams here to ESL Sydney studios, and well, we're starting to cut them down. We've lost 2 already, being on Friday. We're now on to Saturday, day 2, Group A. These 4 teams are still in contention, but gentlemen, starting to get a little bit more difficult for some of these teams to make their way through. Right now, though, it will be our upper bracket final. We've got Order up against MVP, PK, but to be fair, that's precisely what we expected to see.
Yeah, I think we did expect to see this, and I'm glad to see the Southeast Asian Showdown on the loser bracket. So I think that'll go down really well, and that way we get to see some pretty good matches, even though it's not the winner bracket, but I'd rather see close matches than an absolute flogging or something like that. But then again, I say that, SC Absolute really took it to MVP, and sometimes you've got to say, MVP, come on guys, really? Were you trying your hardest there? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it came out, what, 16
to 14
16, 14? Yeah,
on Cobble.
That's very, very close. Way closer than it probably should have been, right? That's a pretty big deal. What do you think that was about, Kev? Do you think that MVP, did they play like a weird style of CS? Did you get a chance to see any of it?
I didn't get a chance to see it, unfortunately. I would say for MVP PK, they were up 15 to 11, and then they tried closing out the game a little bit too quickly, and they went, all right, final round, let's actually knuckle down seriousness. They've got the experience to do so, and they just won at 16 to 14. They were the better squad. They probably tried rushing it a little bit, and that's why it looked very close.
Yeah, because when we came on, I think it was like
15-11.
15-11, correct. And then I think you're right. You try and close it out one round, maybe a little bit too early. You buy something you shouldn't, and then you go right, and you do your proper ecos, and then you come through and you lock yourself in, right?
So props to SC Absolute, because obviously this is something that they do quite often. They did the same thing to Fnatic at Starladder, where they took them to 14 rounds as well. So I think they maybe just need to get that little trick up their sleeve to get off 14, and then they might actually start winning some actual maps just through sheer surprise.
And for me, them actually going against Signature in a best of 3, that'll be a good test for both sides, really, just to see where they're sitting in comparison to each other. I'm fairly certain that these 2 teams don't face off against each other too regularly. Yeah. So it'll be good to see whoever comes out on top of that dogfight.
Well, when talking about improving across the board, talking about going up against some of the best, if you want to play against the best, jump on ESCA. All the guys here who are playing as part of the Pro League do play on ESCA, and Ian, you do too, or have done in the past. Maybe a little bit hard for you these days, I suspect.
Yeah. Well,
alas,
a little bit too hard these days. But yeah, I used to play quite often. But life takes over and casting.
Now you're an official caster. I wish there was an ESCA for casting where you could like duke against people as like who's the better caster, mate? For casting,
there is.
Yeah, the
Where have you
Mountain Dew League challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, right. No, but I can't do it.
You always have these great ideas that everyone's already done.
Someone's already had. Yeah, but I can't participate in that, so it doesn't count.
Why?
I don't know, but I can't.
I was going to say,
because he's already the best.
You've already made it.
The best there ever was.
Look at you, Mr. Ego.
Yeah, no. We're okay. We're okay.
I mean, going back to ECA, it's just a good plugging platform for just getting your game skills up there. I mean, we
meet new people.
Yeah, meet new people. You're starting from scratch, don't know too many people. You make new friends. God knows that's how I did it in Source. You just play against people and then eventually meet like-minded individuals, and who knows where you go from there.
Yeah, we won't even talk about Source, will we? We'll forget you said that, Kev.
Yeah. What did you say?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm the youngest here, all right?
So,
wow.
It's Group A, our upper bracket final, a best of 3. For context, the winner of this game makes it through to Sunday, which is a pretty big deal. The loser drops down into the lower bracket final, which is also, theoretically, you would like to think that one of these teams should be able to beat whoever comes through in the lower bracket final. But maybe we're wrong. Maybe that's not how it's going to play out.
Maybe Order lose here and give Signature a second bite at the cherry. Who knows?
Well, that's it. You got to be careful. The 2 top teams coming through from the group, to be fair, coming into the competition, most people suggested that these were the 2 teams who would meet in the upper bracket final of their group. And you can see why. Both very solid teams, both very experienced. MVP PK, one of the top teams in the Asia region. Order, one of the top teams in the ANZ region. And we don't necessarily get to see them go head-to-head on LAN all that often, so this is actually quite exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, this is MVP's 3rd time here in Australia, so we've seen them twice before, now the 3rd time. First time was amazing to see them. Second time, very, very lackluster performance. So they'll be looking to make up on the back of that. And bringing in Zine, he's been just such a powerhouse, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, no matter who they're up against, whether it was Fnatic or whatnot, Zine's putting up numbers. So I think a very instrumental pickup for MVP. They definitely needed more firepower. No one ever questioned any of their strategy or anything like that. Their teamwork is pretty much on par with best in the region.
Yep.
And Sign just coming in was like that X factor that, Order have with Liaz, Greyhound has with Gratisfaction. So it just makes sense. You need to have some firepower in your lineup.
And they also qualified for IM Sydney, and it was actually quite a difficult run for them, Ked. They had to play some serious opponents. Yeah,
I mean, they had to verse Tyloo, who unfortunately couldn't be here because of pre-existing commitments, which before we'd say Tyloo with a new pickup at Excurate, one of the best in the region. So taking them down 2-1 in a best-of-3 series is a serious mark of...
They made it look pretty easy on the ones that they won as well.
So it's kind of going, before we were saying Tyloo was the #1 in the region, now MVP PK, maybe #1 in the region, 2 more victories over Tyloo. That's 100% solidified in my mind. So they're looking like they want to now be best in the APAC region as well. And this would be a great testing time going into IM Sydney for that.
Yeah, it's exactly what they want. So it's great to have them here. And as you said, a very good run-in for MVP heading into IM, which will be played here in this studio to kick things off in a bit over a week. Their opponents in the upper bracket final, one of the top teams in the ANZ region. Let's go and take a look at Order.
My name's Jordan Badgick, also known as Hats, and I play for Order. Every player in our team is very important. Sicko and Liaz are in our star position roles. Chris, imagine being the in-game leader, also has a very important role in our team. We did make a roster change and bring in Ali, and obviously Ali and myself basically support and help everyone basically shine. So our biggest strengths, I think, our individual skills. We have a good sense of individually understanding how we should play, as well as Chris giving up a lot of space for us. He also calls in a way for us to excel as well. Our main goal, I think, well, for myself, but I'm sure for the others, is always trying to compete outside of Australia as much as possible, because it's actually very important, I think, for our region, is to get the experience and learning so much from versing other teams from other parts of the world. Obviously, another goal is getting first at this event. Yeah, it will be a very big achievement. These sort of opportunities is what everyone wants. We want to be able to experience better players, better teams, better scenarios. That's how we improve. That's how we, improve our scene. And yeah, I think it's a very, very good thing. I hope we get a clean run through the bracket and get into the semis, and have a little bit of a grinder out in the semi-final upper bracket, but eventually winning. I don't want to say I don't think we'll lose, but we're very confident. So especially it's LAN as well, so it's our environment. We're very experienced on LAN, so yeah.
Well, they're experienced in LAN, experienced in CSGO in general. A lot of these guys been around the scene here in Australia for quite a while. Kev, what do you think about the individual skill of these 5 players on the team? Do you think that they're all performing where they need to be at the moment? Are they all guns blazing? Is there something to watch out for?
I think the people to watch out for at this particular moment, obviously, is Liaz and Emag. And in particular, in my mind, we always know Hats as that fragging powerhouse, and Liaz, he's always just that quiet achiever. You never think he gets a 30 bomb, and then he gets a 30 bomb, and you go, all right, I don't remember any of those kills. And then Emag's been stepping up in form so well recently. As the IGL, if you're fragging, that's all you ever want in an IGL that's actually leading the team to success as well. Now is he contributing? He's contributing to the strategy and the kills. But questions asked of Sicko and Alistair, Ian.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, Sicko's first performance on Train there against Signature was not what we're used to seeing, but I mean, we had the same thing with Gratisfaction on his first map. Really, of all the AWPers, Yam's the only one that's really done anything so far. Gratisfaction probably towards the end once they started steamrolling Boot, but Sicko yet to step up for me. In terms of Emag, look, I'm not too sure. I mean, he hasn't had to do a whole lot, but he also hasn't been putting a lot of numbers on the board, in my opinion. I think Ali is one of the things that they might need to fix. We'll have to see how it goes. Up against some decent opposition here, they might be able to punish that that sort of loose play style that Ali has. But apart from that, obviously, yeah, Liaz, he has a lot of impact, and you'll just see this through this next game. If he is lighting up, then Order should be getting some rounds on the board.
Oh. Yeah, so for me then, my main concern is that whilst they've been going okay online against Aussie opponents, and they say that LAN is where they want to be.
Right.
LAN up against MVP PK, that's a pretty big ask. Is that too big an ask?
Oh, I don't think it would be for these guys. They know that it's the next stepping stone that we always say, and you can't avoid these kinds of opponents. If you're looking to go international like Order are to face off against your NA and EU teams, then you've got to be in the best in the region, and you've got to be taking down MVP PK in convincing fashion.
How important are map selections in this best of 3?
Look, I think these maps are very important for particularly Order. I think they have a very similar map pool, obviously, except for like the likes of Cobblestone. For me, I think, you know, they want Train. That's one of their best maps. You saw them just then against Signature. Despite being down a huge deficit, 7-1, they mounted a comeback. If you have a strong T-side on Train, you can afford to pick it, give them the CT first, and go from there. For me, obviously, look, it's a dangerous area here because Order is really good at Inferno, probably one of the best Inferno teams in the region. Safe to say, Inferno is MVP's best map. That's like their maiden map. They beat everyone on it. Tyloo, they have really great games internationally on it. So that's a scary one for me, and that might actually turn the tide for this BO3.
So what do you do here then? Do you say, even though we're good, they're better, so we don't want it at all? We play a map that we're not as comfortable on? Is that the play?
Depends how you're feeling on the day, I suppose. If you're playing well, then maybe give it a shot.
Okay.
I think one of the things you need to keep in mind is, you know, just because it's one of your better maps, it doesn't mean you have to play it.
Yeah.
You always want to think about the opponent's best map, and if they're getting awesome results on a map, just because you're good at it, maybe you should just take the ego out of it and just say, look, let's not just give them their best map, make them play on a map they're not super comfortable on, because we don't need them starting off with that confidence. Like, if you can get your own map, that's great, but a lot of teams won't let you do that. Unless they're just very overconfident, and then that's when you cause upsets.
So you probably, if they don't let you have your best map, you probably don't want to let them have their best map, even if it's your number 2, right? So there's a lot of things to think of here. I've heard that our map Vetoes are now ready, so let's go and show them up on the screen. So no Cobblestone, no Overpass. Thoughts there, Kev?
Makes complete sense. Elaborating on the points where Ian was making, obviously you want to be avoiding Cobblestone as your Order. We touched on it briefly when they're versing Signature. They struggled against Chiefs. They would definitely struggle against MVP PK. I wanted to say that we may actually see Nuke as one of the remaining maps, because both sides are very competent on Nuke. So Nuke might be the final map that we see after all this rotation. So Train and Inferno most likely going to be the next picks. I think MVP will definitely be confident coming into this, going, we're better than you at Inferno.
If MVP pick Nuke, I mean,
as in, it will be the remaining map. So.
Well, they could pick Nuke just because they're one of the only teams in the region that play Nuke, and Order, maybe they don't understand that because a lot of people ban Nuke against MVP. So it could be a surprise packet.
All right, well, let's go and take a look at what our first 2 maps will be. Order, we're going to pick Train, and MVP pick Inferno. So obviously, since Inferno wasn't banned out as the first map, not surprised to actually see it come out
Literally what we were talking about. They both just chose their best maps and let them have each other's best maps because they both have those perma vetoes.
So 3 more maps remain. Let's see if it's going to be Nuke. We'll throw those up on the screen. Mirage actually going to be our last map there. What are our feelings on this?
Yep, so Order do the smart thing and ban out Nuke. So that's good to see.
Nuke is like a catfish at this point. It looks good, but you don't want to play it.
Okay, fair enough. Ian, very experienced in that particular area. So, what do we think about who's going to win here? I know that as Aussies, we're biased. We say we want Order to win. Ian, are Order going to win, however, or will the Koreans take them down?
I think the Koreans are going to take them down, and I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0, wow. So I'm going to put this down. 2-0 to MVP is what Ian Sniper Turn has. Kev, what are your thoughts?
Look, last time we all agreed with Ian and we were all wrong, so I'm going to go on the flip side. It's going to go to 3 maps, but I still think MVP PK will win.
All right.
So I'm not going to...
One time I was wrong, Kev.
One time you were wrong, and we followed you into it.
Well,
and then I just go, no more.
It was only a scoreline that was wrong.
True.
Well, I'm not just picking this, by the way, because I want to be different. I'm picking this because I genuinely think that Order can win this. I think they're going to win 2-1. It's going to go all the way. It's going to come down to the final map, and they're going to show just how strong they are on Mirage. But the reality is it doesn't matter what we think. Our casters are ready. Our players are ready. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this match? Elfish Guy,
Ian, I'm going to
you
stick
with
with
me?
you, mate. No, sorry, Ben. You're done. You're in the bin. Me and Ian, we're going to stick together forever. The bromance of the AUCS region. I'm looking here for MVP to come away with a victory, whether it's going to be 2-1 or 2-0. We'll have to wait and see after that first map, but certainly if Order do not pick up Train here, I am thinking they're in a little bit of a difficult situation.
Yeah, I think their train will need to be a bit better than it was in their previous best of one just there, but I think I'm on the MVP train as well. I think it's going to be 2-1. I reckon Order can take Train, but after that, I think Inferno is going to be difficult. Mirage is up in the air. It's a good map for both teams, but I do think MVP are going to play very well and take this one 2-1.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I think about Train. I feel like it is a bit up in the air. I think it's a good map for both of those two teams. We have seen MVP have a lot of success on Train recently and even a long time ago as well. So throughout the entire time that I've actually been watching MVP as a team, even through all of their iterations, Train has been one of their maps that's been in their pool alongside Inferno. Very bold prediction, I suppose, there to call it 2-0 for MVP over Order from Ian, but in reality, it is very, very possible in my eyes. And for Order, like you said, they definitely have to play better there on Train than they did in that first match.
Yeah, and I think for them, if they are going to take this series, like the desk said, Inferno is still a good map for them, but I think it's going to have to be a 2-1 taking Train and Mirage, because Inferno, as we've said, MVP are very good on it, but we're going to jump into Train first up and find out how things go.
Indeed we are. That's not to say necessarily that Inferno is a bad map for Order. They actually do have some very good results on it, and they do like to pick it themselves here and there. It's just that has always traditionally been a stranglehold, really, or stronghold, I should say, for MVP PK, and it's always scary to see that one going through, but MVP, they always seem to managed to slip that one into the map pool. However, now we are on to Train. MVP is going to be starting off on CT side, and we shall see how warmed up they are after that match on Cobblestone.
Order's going for the 5 sets of armor in the pistol round, so it's going for the aim jewels. Looks to be fast towards A with 3 into Ivy, 2 in the upper halls. Probably just going to split A from all 3 angles possible. On the CT side, Smoke in a kit for HSK, Zion onto that USP, and sorry, CZ, I should be saying, and the push is coming in through Ivy.
Yeah, Solo not going to be landing too many shots there, and he gives up some space, allows Order into the A bomb site. MVP PK, they don't have too much positioning, but Solo is in a nice spot. Not sure that they know someone has gone up to heaven, though. That could be a major concern here for the T's. Solo has spotted out Alistair, and a lot of damage done over to him as well. Order need to get themselves in some nice post plants, and they have done. They've got a player in SL, but Solo and Glow have opened things up. Now Zion drops down at the perfect time. Hats, his attention was diverted, and MVP PK, they will be able to close out a very solid retake on the A bomb site.
It's good for MVP that they do manage to get into that retake with all 5 alive as well. It's just the pressure in Ivy that they had to fall away from, with Solo pushing around through the back of the trains. So it works out well for them. Yeah, it works out very well. They manage to keep all players alive, go for the retake. They use a bit of utility as well. They've got the kit to make that defuse easier, and they had all the time they wanted to be able to push in, isolate those into 1v1s, figure out where the Ts were, and unfortunately, even the Heaven player just got taken into a 3 versus 1. Players popping up in every single angle possible. Though, with the bomb down, Order are going to go for a pistol save here to get rifles out next round, and MVP know that they've bought 5 MP9s to farm some cash.
Yeah, big grenade chunk coming out there onto Order, and Order, interestingly, not putting too much into this round. Like I said, just those pistols. They're making it work here, though. Hats has gotten a kill onto Zeph, and onto Sicko. So I'm not sure what's going on. Sorry. HSK. It's all gone wrong, Tim, but it's okay. MVP PK. They're closing this round out, or really, it's just Zeph closing this round out. Liaz will get another one, but you have to think the damage that Order can do in this round is going to be negligible, even if they get rid of 3 or 4 guns. They were all MP9s for MVP PK. They didn't put too much money into that one. Now we'll probably see the rifles invested in by Solo and HSK.
Yeah, so the MP9, MVP MV9s, goodness, we're all having trouble with words today, will give them a good amount of money, and that allows HSK to go for the AWP 3rd round. Glow's going to be upgrading as well, but it is the 5 rifles out here for the T side of Order. Very limited utility, though. They've got enough smokes and flashes to do an A side execute or a B side execute early on, but nothing for the post plant if that's how they want to use it. And it will be the A side execute coming in. The Molotov will slow them down, though, and that's a problem because, like I said, for MVP, they've only got, or for Order, they've only got 1 set of utility. So they're running out of grenades quite quickly, and HSK's already opened onto Hats in the brown halls.
Yeah, that's not fun for Hats at all. That gives the advantage over to MVP PK, despite having what one would consider a weaker buy. Zeph can't seem to see Liaz there, and so a little unfortunately for him, he is going to go down. HSK, though, still making an impact, and he knows that Liaz is close there, just making sure he's staying at bay. That AWP, definitely a good investment here for MVP PK. Look at the positioning as well of Solo, wrapping all the way around the back. This is going to be very dangerous. If you're Sicko, indeed it is. That's the bomb dropped. MVP PK should win the round out from here. 4 versus 2. Liaz dropped incredibly low. And MVP looks like they're going to secure a very, very nice bonus round.
They will indeed be able to do that. They upgrade all of the SMGs into rifles as well. So it's a great round from MVP. Once again, it's that retake setup with the push coming out through Ivy to flank through. Drops the bomb. And Order, that didn't really go the way they wanted it to. They only found, what, 1 kill in the end. So unfortunate there, they couldn't close it. HSK does good work with the AWP, but that's going to force Order back onto the pistols once again.
It's not the start that you want if
No,
you
it's
are
not.
Order.
And this is the same as last map. They went down to 6-1 before they started getting some rounds back.
And not only is this going to put them down 4-0, one would assume, it's also going to allow MVP to really build that economy up. They've just won a bonus round, and now they've got an eco to go up against as well. They are going to lose Glow, and the bomb should be planted here by Order. Any more guns lost here for MVP. PK would be a disappointment. And, well, Zion goes down. Liaz, oh, the knife kill! He gets Zeph. That's not good at all for MVP. That really, really puts a lot of money in the bank of Order. And it was just a little bit sloppy closing out that final kill from the CTs. They're still in a good position here, Tim, but it could have been far better.
Yeah, they lose 3 players to the pistol rush. That's not exactly what they would have wanted there. Unfortunate for that side player, I believe it was Glow, that he did get overwhelmed. There was just too many players to shoot at as they jumped through that smoke. Still, the round's recovered, but as you say, they drop 3 guns and they give the knife kill over. That's Liaz with a lot of money in this round. You can see he spent nearly 7k. That's going to allow the AWP to be out onto Sicko as well. That's a good start, something that Order can use, but Sicko, for me, really needs to fire up in this map earlier than he did last time. It took him a fair few rounds to get the AWP and then a fair few rounds to start really having an impact with it. He did get a kill once he had it, but still, the last thing Order want here is a slow start in their own map pick.
Especially the way that HSK is looking in this map so far. He started off in the first round that he had the AWP with a nice couple of very impactful kills there for MVP, and really was the key difference between Order and MVP. He was the one that was essentially winning the round there for MVP, and no one stepped up for Order in order to trade things back like that in their favor. And for MVP this time, it is Zeph to stand up on the A bomb site, sitting on the bomb train. He's going to be forced out just a little bit by that Molotov, but he's still got a nice position, and he gets another one before being traded out. However, Solo is caught off guard by Liaz. Still favourable for MVP, but as I say that, well, that was a very messy spray from Glow, and that could be the round gone begging. HSK now in a 1 versus 2.
Just with the AWP as well. Liaz just a pistol shot away from death. And now he goes to the rifle, so he's got a better chance in this. The bomb still down for Order. And now HSK spotted. He's got the line. This could be what loses them this round, but they've still got the HP to play with.
If he hears them collect this bomb or drop off a train, he could potentially find himself a free kill. And particularly if it's onto Alistar, that leaves Liaz on 9 HP. A difficult clutch for him in that case. HSK still does have a lot of utility here as well. He'll get the free kill onto Liaz. Alistar only 24 seconds to plant the bomb as well. Does he decide to plant here? Commit to it? Looks like he will. HSK is going to use that time to creep up on him, but Alistar wins the aim duel. And MVP, they do drop around there that, again, they looked a little bit stronger than Order in.
Well, that was a round that really just fell apart because they couldn't hit their aim duels.
Yep.
They had the better positioning. You saw early in that round they had 2 players up in the B halls, which gives them the info that it's not going to be B. They were very ready for that. So then they had a player watching off the Ivy push, hanging out at the back. They had 3 players on the bomb site ready to get the kills. They found the entrance, or the entry kills. They set it up perfectly for themselves, and then unfortunately a few aim duels go the way of Order, and that turns it back in their favor. But still, MVP was set up very, very well for that one. They had all the info. Knew exactly what Order were going to be doing, and this time, look at Glow, he's up through the smoke.
Seems like Order are aware of it, or at least suspecting of it, and Glow indeed will go down. That's good awareness from Order, and it means that MVP on this sort of a force buy are going to be playing with a player disadvantage as well. It would have felt like they should be 5-0 up, so they've decided they want to try and get back into this as fast as possible. But it's a tough round now, having lost the first 2 players. Zeph needs to come up with something big, and he will get the bomb, but there's players wrapping up on the back of him, and he has to turn around and deal with those 3 kills so far for Zeph. He can't get any more. Would have needed the ace. Zeph has been very impressive throughout this map so far, but the rest of MVP not quite standing up to his level.
That is going to limit the economy of Order, though. While they do get the round, dropping those 3 guns to Zeph at the end means Liaz is onto the Mac 10 here, which, admittedly, it's Liaz. He does like to take an SMG, but still the money isn't fabulous.
It's an eco, though, for MVP, so that's going to allow Order to just build things up straight away.
Exactly, that's where I was going with that. Like, he does like having an SMG, Liaz, and he's just going to be going straight in for the hunt, try and get a bit of money. And there is 3 players already quite close to him here on the A-bomb side.
little bit of aggression out here from Zeph. He must be feeling it, and he's spotted out a player there. Sacrifices quite a significant chunk of his HP in order to do so. So far, so good for Order. They haven't really lost too much. The first kill also going over to Liaz. Means that there's a bit of extra money in the bank there. Zeph is able to get one, but should not get too much more past that. And now just Glow with the USP. If he can get a nice headshot across, maybe he's got a chance of getting another frag. But at this point, kind of count him out of the round.
Yeah, not much for him to do at this point. Unfortunately for MVP, the Pistols only get one. And Sicko is the 100 HP player as well. So while there might have been a dink and a body shot possibility for everyone else, Sicko has been spotted out. That's going to be the gun down. So Glow can grab that and save now. Should get away with it as well. So that's a decent win for them on this round to pull a rifle out of it. But it will be Order grabbing their third round, and they're on the hunt as well.
Not sure that they're going to be able to catch up to Glow at this point. Making sure they check as many angles as possible. But inevitably, Glow is going to survive. It's a nice little bonus out of that round there for MVP. It still keeps the money, you know, a little bit low there for Order.
Yeah, they're not doing fabulously well so far. Sicko is a bit limited on that money as well, but he'll get a dropout. So
No AWP.
yeah, no AWP, as you say, but at least they do have the money. Hat's up on $5,800, so he's doing okay. And on the side of MVP, they do get the 4 M4s out, Zion going for the MP9, but the money is very low for them. If they lose this one, they're in pretty dangerous territory economically. And it's already a fast A play. This is what won Order so many rounds last map.
Yeah, and Zeph's fully flashed out. Can't get anything done as Sicko just pushes out from the smoke in SL. HSK close. Can only do so much there with the MP9. Oh, it's actually HSK that was up on the green train. Someone else was close. It was Zion close. And HSK has gotten 2 with the AK that he retrieved from the last round. So far doing good work with it. Now down to a 1 versus 2 for Glow. But both of these players within 1-shot range for him. And the bomb not planted either. They don't know that he is this close. And if he denies that plant onto Hats, gets the kill onto EMAG in the meanwhile, could be problematic. He should have spotted Hats out there, but it doesn't seem as though he has. Hats certainly has seen Glow, and he'll be able to hit the shot as well. A risky moment there for a moment for Order, but another clutch goes their way.
It's a close one, but it does indeed. And the money for MVP now is not great. They do have HSK up on a little bit more, but everyone else limited pretty severely. So Order, that's the same fast A take they were rolling in the previous best of 1 up against, what am I saying here? Up against Signature, that's what I wanted, the team name. And it does work for them. Again, they were ready for the quick flank this time, coming out of Solo out through Ivy. EMAG was holding the line for that one. And while HSK up on the bomb train does cause out a couple kills, getting over the smokes, it doesn't work. And this time, Order, again fast A, but dry. Just some flashbangs.
Now after this round is where you want to see MVP starting to recognize it, but now perhaps the round might still go their way. Zion comes up massive with the CZ, and MVP, the fastest round of the map so far, goes their way. That's not the way that Order would have wanted that quick play into A to go.
Yeah, they only had, I think it was like 2 flashbangs out, a smoke for connector, and maybe a Molotov for the back of the site, but not enough. The previous times they've run that strat, they've had smokes everywhere to cover themselves off, and they work around those. With no smokes down, the flashbangs not doing too much to MVP. It gives them a lot of space to move around with those pistols, get up into close range, which is where you want the CZs, and Zion comes up huge with the last 2 to close it out. That's going to give MVP the double AWP now as well. And there's no answering sniper rifle onto Sicko for Order.
No quick play out here for Order as well, and that could be problematic going into the double AWP. If they just try to play slow, it's going to give Glow, or rather HSK and Solo, a lot of time to work with. Solo just locking down this B ramp, but deciding to rotate across to upper. All in all, it does seem as though it's going to be a B push here for Order, and Solo gets the first kill.
There's another one smoke on the T2 as well, so they can't even block him off for too long. In the meantime, Glow's getting involved. This is falling apart for Order.
Yeah, not a whole lot that Order could have done there, as they just didn't really have any utility to use, it seems. Well, there's a flashbang for, or a couple of flashes for Hats, really, but they've basically walked out dry into the B bomb site, and MVP said, well, we've got an AWP here, we've got a rifler here, thanks for the free kills.
Exactly. They did have 1 smoke on Order, but 1 smoke wasn't going to be enough to protect them from the AWP. So maybe you throw it out low ramp, maybe that gives you that sort of space, but you can't smoke off deeper into the bomb site, so the AWP can be up in the upper ramp, looking down at you, over at oil, down at the stoppers. You can't really prevent an AWP from killing you with only the 1 smoke, and lack of utility, not great for Order there. It won't get them anything, really, so now MVP 2 rounds in the lead, just a pistol round out from Order here. A Deagle and a P250 out on Liaz and Hats respectively, but other than that, Everyone just saving. It's going to be the B rush. They might manage to isolate Glow here, but he's got the Molotov down. And Order have not started this push just yet. And in the meantime, Solo has rotated over with the AWP to help lock this down.
Yeah, should be quite safely sorted here for MVP. As Glow just does a good job with the M4 Solo, backing him up and keeping him alive. It's a nice period of safety, really, for MVP, where they can turn this first half back into what it really should have been. They dropped a pretty weak round, I feel like, is fair to say, earlier on, and that sort of allowed Order to come back here to 4-7. But MVP have definitely felt like the stronger side throughout this first half so far, even though the score isn't necessarily dictating the advantage that at least I feel they should have.
To agree with you there, but they are 3 rounds up. And now Order back onto the full buy. They don't even get the bomb down. Unfortunately, Hats was trying to fake it out, draw one of these players in, maybe get another kill and then plant, but did run out of ammo in that M4 and couldn't win the aim duels, unfortunately for him. Now, though, once again, Order back to fast out. Ali through the Molotov, straight into Olaf, and a long way up on the A-bomb site, but HSK still grabs the kill.
Yeah, really nice flick there from HSK. It looked like it was going to work out for Alistair, but now that he's gone down, that game is really given away here by Order, and having lost 2 players to the AWP of HSK is going to make life incredibly difficult for them. Liaz tries to come up with something big and looks for the 2 kills, but only able to get 1 before being traded out. Still, the trades are not looking too bad here for Order, and we're back to a 2 versus 2. However, again, Sicko and Hats are tagged up quite heavily. The bomb's still yet to be retrieved for the T's. No real control of the map. And MVP, one would say, are probably still in the driver's seat for this, with that extra utility that they do have as well.
The bomb is not committed to the A-bomb site just yet for Order. Looks like that is where it's going to be going. 1 player in T-Con, 1 in bottom of SL, bottom Pop Dog. And the CT is choosing to play this one very passively.
Well, the thing is now, Order could be anywhere. MVP, they had the information that it was going to be A, but Order have slowed things down, and now MVP's starting to have to think, starting to have to re-aggress and figure out what is going on for that T side. Now it starts to swing a little bit slowly back in the favor of Order. However, Glow, he might just come up with a perfect timing play. He spotted both of them out, knows that the bomb is going to be going down on the A site. Swaps out for an AK and now just waits for his teammate to potentially get something done from the connector. Solo doesn't quite manage to land any shots. This is not looking so great for MVP. They're just not really peaking at the right time. Sicko eventually does go down, and Glow somehow gets both of them. They must have lined up for him. MVP's looking very happy with that one, just grinning ear to ear.
Yeah, it looks like it was a double peek from the bomb site and out of SL there, as you can see from Glow. That's so unfortunate for Order. They had, as you said there, they had the timing, they'd taken their time, and they managed to get onto that A bomb site, made MVP second guess themselves, but unfortunately, they were trying to double peek, and instead they lined up, and that does give MVP another round, at least, or to get the bomb down. That's a bit of an injection to the economy. They've full bought here, invested all of their money. Still not much utility, but better than that round where they went B and only had a single smoke, so maybe they can make something work here. It looks like it will be either a B play. No, they're going down SL here. It's the A split again.
Well, this is where MVP is going to turn this into a really monstrous first half, as Order once more have tried to go quickly out into the A bomb side. Of course, it's not going to work out. Zion in a great spot there. Would have shut down Alistair had Solo not, but now it's a 3 versus 1 for Imagine, and he goes down as well. It was the full investment from Order. They didn't get the bomb down. They can't really buy through into this round, and MVP, they should be up to 10.
They should indeed be, and that A strategy is essentially what Order's been running every time they've gone fast A. It's the same thing. It's the smokes out for the middle of the bomb site and amongst the trains. They go multiple out of SL, a couple in through T-Con, but that allows an E-box player to be waiting for them, which is where the majority of the kills come in for MVP, and then they immediately push Zion up through the smokes to get behind them as well. And while he does get traded out by the 1 player left alive, they're still very ready for it. MVP obviously watched the last game and they're countering this well, but Hats this time will win the first duel going down SL.
Yeah, Zeph just making a little bit too much noise there going into SL, and Hats very well prepared for that. Now has himself an M4 to work with. It's an opening that Order need to make use of. HSK somehow gets a collateral before he goes down to Alistair. Would have loved to have seen that from his POV if we can get a replay. But it's still doable here for Order. 2 versus 2. Hats with an M4. Alistair with an AWP. Definitely no slouch with that weapon. And now it is Solo and Glow. But Glow's going to find Alistair, and you would have thought that Alistair would win that duel just watching the angle. But who knows where he was watching, maybe into main or something like that. In the end, Glow comes up with another big double kill late in the round.
It's an unfortunate loss for Order there. Again, they get it back into the 2 versus 2 after losing a couple kills. HSK, it's just about to say, I'd love to see that. Here it is. So he gets the first one and then immediately hits a collateral. So there's the first kill, and then, there's the lineup. That's very unfortunate for Order to lose that one, but that's the way the cookie crumbles for them. They are getting out onto the A-bomb side, okay. That time there wasn't a player, E-Box, who could stop them, but still doesn't work in the end. They do lose it to Glow, who's very good in these late round clutch situations.
It's a minimum of 10 CT rounds now for MVP PK, and that is quite scary if you are Order. Still potential though for Order to push it through 2-5, and they really need to do it at this point. 2 for 2 the trade as Order try to make something happen around the A-bomb site. APAC long. Still anyone's game at this point though. 3 versus 3 in Order. Making their way towards the B-bomb site. Not something that they've done too much throughout this half. MVP might not be aware of it just yet. However, Zeph is going to be quick on the rotate once it is called from Glow. Glow just needs to survive here, but he won't be able to. Zeph was also being covered off by Alistair. And now it is just HSK in a 1 versus 3. No point not going for it here.
Here's the last round, so he's got to do what he can, but there's a lot of utility down now for Order to buy some time. HSK swapped out to the M4 here, but he's got to find 3 players, and while Hats might, nope, won't even present him that kill. It's a nice headshot from Hats, and it makes it 10-5.
Still, MVP with 10. They should be happy with that. It definitely could have been more, though. They have dropped, obviously, that last round. I think that was a good one from Order, but that first sort of gun round where we saw MVP just whiffing quite a few of their shots, they really should have come away with that one. They would have been off to a better start. The economy would have been off to a better start, but realistically, it didn't seem to impact the CTs all that much. They never really got forced onto a big eco. There was the eco that MVP did inevitably end up winning as well, so that evidently has helped them out as well. Moving on to the T side now is MVP, and 10-5, it's a tough pill to swallow there for Order. It is still potential, or there is still potential for them to come back, but it has to start here with the pistol.
It does indeed. Hat's going to grab himself a smoke and a kit. Bit of utility for the MVP guys as well, so maybe an execute for them here. That last round, though, they were the last half. They were very ready for Order's fast A strat. Managed to adapt that every time, and now Alistair gets taken down. Zeph B-hopping off, well, not B-hopping, jumping off the ladder, finds himself the headshot, and that puts a lot of pressure on these A-site defenders. The smokes and the Molotovs allow MVP to plant safely, and Order now had to make a 4v5 retake work. Still got the kit up on Hats, though.
Yeah, very nice strategy out from MVP, just taking those battles in the close angles and smoking everything else off. Now puts them in a 5 versus 4, and this is a little bit precarious for Order. The smoke's going to go down onto the bomb. Hats might just jump on it and try and defuse while the fight is going on, but MVP, they are very aware of that one. Zeph denies it, and that should be the round all but over, even though Liaz is coming up with some frags. HSK, he's going to get the knife kill to boot, and that's perfect on your AWPer. All Zion has to do now is close this one out, and he will be able to do it. Liaz goes down. That round could not have gone better for MVP PK.
Well, they do give away a knife kill, but they get one as well, so the money will even out in the end. And even though it got a bit frantic towards the end there, it did look like they were in control of it. They stopped 2 or 3 even different smoke defuse attempts from Order.
Have a look at this here. Order going to be fully investing into this round. Liaz with the M4.
Look at this double hero gun setup almost. Zeph buys up another AK, so it's not just HSK, but Liaz has been playing pretty well these last 2 maps on Train, both in this series and earlier against Signature. So we'll have to see what impact he can have with that M4. He's going to be in the middle of the A-bomb site, though.
MVP will know the possibility of this weapon coming out is there, because Liaz, not only did he get the knife kill, but he also got a lot of kills in that fight as well. The information is given that Order have bought into this round. At least they know there's a CZ, so you'd assume there's a little bit past that. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Glow does go down. The AKs are still there for MVP, and Hats will get the better of HSK. That is an AK in his hands. Now the B-bomb site might be a little bit more of a difficult nut to crack for MVP as they have to make their way in quite quickly. The rotation has come across from Sicko. Look at this from Imagine. Perfect positioning. Zeph has not spotted him. I thought he was looking. Oh!
Sharp from Emag. Now it's all on Design in a 1v4. Unfortunately, no one was watching the flank, but Zion in such a tough spot now with just a Mac 10. He can find Hats on the low HP, but everyone else is full health.
Well, he has to hunt down Imagine first. Needs to get rid of the player behind him, but Imagine just holding the angle with a Mac 10. Zion does have head armor. The fight is just going to go the way of Zion. It's so low on HP. He really needed a clean kill there if he was going to try and clutch this round out. Needs to continue to try and find those 1v1s. Another objective for him would be get an AK, and that's definitely going to help him if he can, but I'm not sure where one is. Zeph might have had it. Zeph did have it. And that would be just up there in the B halls. Somewhere around here. There we go.
So potential for Zion to make something of this, but not with 10 seconds left. At this point, he's looking to save onto this AK-47. For their part, Order shouldn't be pushing him. They want to hold on to these 2 rifles that they've managed to get. So At least the gun will be saved for Zion. He's even going to smoke himself off just to make sure he's safe.
Now the question becomes, will MVP force buy themselves into this round? They know that the money is not going to be that great for Order when they do buy up here. They will indeed force into it. So it was a good round from Order. Now MVP, though, they're going to be out for blood. They want to get this round back on track.
And those are the instrumental 2 kills there from EMAG as well. The fact that he finds 2, if he found 1 and then got traded, it's still doable. But when he finds 2 and MVP don't get that trade immediately, just leaves it pretty much unwinnable for them at that point, especially with the Mac 10, the AK only being picked up late and such low HP. Zion had to sit there and wait for that. So now MVP going to go for a mix buy again. Scout out onto HSK. The saved AK there still with the pistols for the rest of them. And Alistair is looking for some damage with this MP9.
HSK is baiting for Glow. Glow can't quite get the kill there, but again, more damage done over to Alistair. This incendiary is going to force Glow back. MVP, though, are definitely putting some early pressure here onto Order. They're just peeking in there, trying to find some advantages where they can, not necessarily overcommitting to anything, just waiting for Order to maybe make a mistake. And for now, Order hasn't made too many critical ones. At least they still have all 5 players up. The incendiary is going to go down. It's a good flash, though, and HSK getting some work done with that scout now. Bomb site is open. The bomb will go down.
5 versus 4 now. Oh, HSK is doing so much work with the scout. He's found 2 frags on just 30 HP. Leaves it now in a very tough situation for Order as their players are getting flanked. Here comes Zeph as well.
A lot of low HP players here for MVP, though, so it is still doable for Order, and Zeph perhaps just a little bit over-eager there. MVP, they've got some okay positioning, but no one deep in the bomb site, and this is going to give the advantage over now to Order if they can clean up 1 or 2 of these frags quickly off that fake defuse. However, there's going to be 1 kill for MVP, and that should all but secure it. The defuse is going to be very tough now for Imagine. He's watching the right angle. Solo will peek out, and not enough time here for Imagine, I don't think. Unfortunate. MVP just buying enough time. It was going to be so tough for EMAG after they lost Sicko there.
Yeah, it was very, very close for them, but they couldn't quite make it work. And that's really unfortunate for Order that they do lose that. The execute is very good for MVP. Smokes in for Connector and also between those second 2 trains there towards the back of the bomb site. The Molotov onto the top of the close train as well. The idea being, of course, to isolate the player that's close, force the Connector guy out of that fight so they can't take the advantageous position there. And unfortunately, Order, the retake doesn't quite work out for them. HSK does a lot of work with that scout. So MVP now going to double Order's score. And it's down to the pistols. Liaz looking for the first engagement. He's actually found 2 kills and dropped the bomb here.
Well, this force buy stealiness will continue, Tim, as Order, again, have invested into pistol and armor and opened things up quite nicely for themselves over on that A bomb site. Glow not prepared for the players coming down through SL, and that's the bomb drop as well. HSK gets taken out, and Order, they come away with another force round, which means it's MVP's turn here. We're going to continue, I would imagine, until someone's going to grab a couple in a row, if MVP so desire. Although, it seems like they themselves might just want to eco this one out. Not a huge amount of money on them. Can't really invest into a CZ and armor on everyone, so...
And at this point, they're up 5 rounds.
Never mind. They've decided to go in.
Okay, well, I was about to say, is they're up 5 rounds. They don't need to really rush to try and close this out, but they do go in for the pistols late, and why not keep the pressure up on Order? This is Order's own map pick, so MVP, of course, will want to stay in control of this for as long as they can. The buy, though, is much better on Order, and on the T side, you can't sit in a close corner with the CZ as well as you can, as well as Liaz just did at E-Box, waiting for them to come his way. So they've got to try and find the engagements to make it work. Very limited utility as well.
It's going to be an A split out here for MVP. Zeph has already secured some positioning in drop. Flash and the incendiary, and he's going to have to go. The rest of the MVP players now need to follow up on this, as Zeph has gone out, taking the duel around E-Box there. But no one from MVP decides to go with him. Just biding their time. They will allow Zeph to go down, but what's the plan here for MVP right now? They're just playing very slow and on their own and allowing Order to dictate how this round is going to be played out.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the bomb was doing there over in B halls, given that the rest of their players were outside Ivy and around T-Con. If it was down at SL, then fair enough, they were going to split into A, but going over to B by itself is unfortunately isolated it from the rest of the players and leaves Glow to have to go and retrieve that. He's got to kill Liaz to even look at doing so, and that's a nice headshot to start. But 30 seconds left, 1v2 for Mars is recovered. Can actually go towards B here and potentially make this work, but instead looks to be back onto A, which gives him a chance, because Order, they have to play 1-1 here. Unless they want to go for the stack 2 on a bomb site and play a retake.
Definitely is still winnable here for Glow. He slowly progresses towards the B site, but not a lot of time. He is going to run straight out into Hats and really won't have time to check for him. He would have spotted him there, but he'll be able to get the bomb down safely. It does mean it's going to be a 2 versus 1, though, for the retake, and this is going to have to be a pretty heroic clutch out from Glow. It's really tough in this situation. Hats will inevitably get the better of him. And finally, Order is able to secure a couple. MVP going to have to save out. But the bomb down, it'll help their next buy.
And they've been doing damage to Order's economy consistently with every single one of these rounds. We have been trading back and forth. Order have just taken 2 in a row, but look at where their money's at. They're all around the $4,000 mark, with the exception of Sicko. So that does mean that he can drop the AK over and go onto an AWP, which he'll do, but MVP have done a good job of keeping Order's money relatively low. You can see Leaz still has a bit of cash, but that's about it. So MVP, this round they shouldn't get too much done with just a couple Deagles and the P250s, but I've been wrong before, and even if they can get like 2 kills here, that's going to force Order's economy into a very tricky situation. Indeed.
So still a precarious round, a precarious position here for Order. The first, though, does go the way of Imagine. That's a nice stabilizing one, and it is Zion. We haven't been talking too much about Zion, which is something contrary to the norm. MVP, since adding him, have looked very, very good in the Asian region. Zion has been a big proponent of that, but not so far today. He's really been a little bit quiet. We've been seeing a lot more from Zeph and HSK. And Glow. We'll need to see something pretty special from Glow now if he's going to take a Deagle 1 versus 5. But like I said before, given the money situation, if he can just get 1 or 2 kills here, it would have forced Order into a tricky situation. But for their part, Order, they do well to hold on to that anti-eco, just taking the rifle frags where they need to. Not really losing, well, not losing anyone. So that's really good for their economy, because now they can start to stabilize. You can see, given where the money is now, say if Ali had dropped there, he'd be in trouble. Hats, same deal. These players are so low on money due to how much damage that MVP's been doing. That's a really important round for the CT side economy there. Order will be buying up here. Order? MVP even. We'll be buying up here on the T side. Yeah, but Order is not out of the danger zone just yet. They need to make sure they win another round here before they're really going to be able to secure an excellent buy through for the next round. That's a great entry from Zeph. It really looked like it was going to go the way of Hats, but just far too sharp with that AK. Another one also goes the way of HSK. So MVP just picking and splitting into the A-bomb site, into Ivy. Now by Old Bomb. It's all over the place here for MVP, but Order, they're answering well. MVP have so much map control here, though. They do. They're all over the A-bomb site. Ali will take some control of T-Con, but the bomb's going in through Ivy where it is safe and where MVP have cleared. So at least they've got that under control. On the side of Order, Sicko is stuck in CT here. He knows he has to hold that line or else his teammates can be flanked. So he just has to wait and make sure the B-bomb side is safe. Oh. It will be A, but Alistair's in quick to make the retake happen. Glow just had far too many angles to watch there. Needed to sit himself in a corner for a moment and take 5, but now it is just 2 for MVP. They do have a player in heaven, HSK. If he can bide his time and peek out at the right time, that could be quite useful for MVP. For now, though, Zeph looks like he's going to give away a free one. In Order, they have a lot of time to play with here. HSK is going to need to have a pretty impressive round. There's the first one. They're already on the bomb in the smoke, though, and he can't shoot at it. Leaz will hold the line. That's one that's dangerous for MVP. I mean, that was just a bit questionable, I think, in their positioning there, and that they got the first kill. They did really well to get that in B halls. The bomb went down, but they could retrieve that. But then they continue pushing into CT, and they keep going despite eventually going A. They push past the bomb site, which does give Order a couple chances to get back in there. Admittedly, for MVP, if they'd got those kills, they would have had control of pretty much the entire map. So if it had worked, it would have been great, but it does give Order the chance to get a few frags back in. And then in that 3v3, Order is coming in from every single angle. It's too hard for MVP. Hats on the secondary ops going for a pick into B halls, but will burn and not be given an opportunity. Yeah, Zeph is going to take that opportunity to peek up and have a little bit more of a look into the B bomb site. He had success doing that last round, but not so this round as Hats was playing upper. Maybe that information is in the back of the minds of MVP. Zeph not spotting anyone by the low ramp, and so, you know, what's going on? Where are those B players? But for Order, double AWP set up and starting to really claw their way back into this map. MVP did have a good first half, but so far the second, not going their way. This is something we see a lot from Hats on the B-bomb side as well. When he has a rifle, he likes to play by lower ramp like you see Rifle is doing, spotting out for the early info and the contact, then dropping a smoke or a molly falling back. Whenever he has the AWP though, he always likes to play AWP, 98% of the time likes to play from con, from the back of the further bomb trains.
So this is where he normally goes, and now the execute's coming out. That Molotov will miss, but the smokes are down, and MVP will be flooding onto this B-bomb site where Hats has so much to do.
Yeah, just too many players coming out from a fairly similar angle. He had far too much to look at, but still the players of MVP have managed to get the bomb down and push forward. Zion's in a really good spot here, very, very deep in the bomb site, keeping most of Order at bay, and that was just excellent from MVP. A great execute out onto the B bomb site.
Yeah, they get on there very, very quickly before the rotate can come through. Liaz was getting in there as the smoke started to come in, but MVP were already on the bomb site. Hats got overwhelmed, which was unfortunate. He couldn't see where to look, and the money is split up all over the place for Order. They can get drops out from Liaz and Sicko.
Gonna have to take 5 here, or 30 seconds, to think about what they want to do in this round. They should be able to sort of force a buy through with, obviously, like you said, a couple of those players having quite a significant amount of cash, but this is going to be a buy that if they lose this next round, they're essentially done for the map.
Yeah, it looks like that. And while they do have 2 players on around the $9,000 mark, they've got one on 3 and the others on like less than 2, if I remember correctly. So if they do pass the drops out, they can get enough rifles out, just barely. But looking at Sicko's money, I don't think he has enough to get... Okay, he does have enough to get the M4 and the AWP just... Actually, no, it's an MP9 that's been tossed out. So this is the buy they'll put together. They have very little utility. Only one player with head armor, which means the double M4 on the CT side are going to have a great time here. And that's the advantage of that M4. It's either you force the CTs to buy head armor because they know you have the M4s, or it means that they're upgraded to AKs and you get free rifles out of it. So it's a good choice to keep those ones here for MVP. This time they're going for something different towards the A-bomb site.
But does MVP know that there's going to be a buyout here from Order? Because the money was quite weird there on the CT side. Well, now they certainly do, as Alistair's fired off a couple of shots from the M4s. So MVP will know what they're up against. That's nice from Alistair, though. Big individual plays is what we need to see from him. But from MVP, it's as well the same. Glow forced into a 1 versus 1. Does have the bomb.
1 versus 2, in fact, on the bomb site here, but both of these players playing pretty passively. Order wanting to play the retake in the 2v1. Oof. That gives Glow the time to get away, but Hats knows where he is now with that Molotov going out. And Glow, he's looking for the 1v1 on Sicko. Might just get it, but Sicko's going to hit the shot.
Yeah. In the end, Sicko the only one that needs to get anything really done there. As Hats is going to go searching for some sort of an upgrade. He gets himself an AK. There should be an AWP around here somewhere.
I'm not sure if we'll find it. That was a round that started out really well for MVP, but the trades do come back in force for Order. Big round from Alistair there playing close E-box, and that's been a position that we've seen a lot of for both teams having success with. In fact, all 3 teams now we've seen on train so far today. Close E-box has been a really good position to stop the fast A-take coming out for the CT side for everyone. So well done from Ali to get 2 there. Hopefully for MVP they'll be able to nullify that, but probably not this round. They've just got the pistols. Very basic utility, couple smokes and flashbangs. Most likely a fast execute somewhere. Probably onto the A-bomb site, but we'll see.
I don't mind seeing MVP go for sort of that pistol save here. They could have actually forced into this round if they really would have wanted to. And again, that was another great opportunity to reset Order's economy. But MVP, they know that they've tried that a few times. It hasn't really been working out quite as much as they wanted it to. And it's starting to get to a fairly late stage of the map. They need to start thinking about how their economy is going to be shaping up here. So this is a smart move from MVP. And if they can do more damage to that Order economy, it doesn't matter whether they've got the pistols in this round. As long as they get the damage, and then next round, they can potentially still reset Order.
And now a lot of pressure is going to be on Hats. They've just smoked off the connector, which is Sicko with the AWP, so he's going to have to reposition to try and find an angle here. But instead, he's going to go all the way back to A. They're not falling for it here, Order, or they are falling for it. They think it's a fake, but MVP throw the utility early, flood out late, and that puts a lot of pressure onto Hats. And in the end, he does get taken down by the CZ. Gives the T's a lot of time to get up close as well.
Yeah, again, deep bomb site positioning taken here by MVP. Zeph is the one close. They know where he is, though. It's a nice grenade usage out from Order. Gets the kill for Imagine. Alistair finds it solo, and this looks like it's going to be not too dangerous in the end for Order. Just HSK left alive. He might be able to sneak one more frag away, which would be nice for them. Emag, though, on the ball. Will shut him down. 12-3. It's going to come up, and Order got another gun round to deal with.
That's actually a really good retake from Order that they only lose the one gun there, being Hats. Considering that, with the utility there, MVP threw it early and then waited to make it look like a fake. They did draw Sicko's rotation out back to A through CT, and then they flood in and kill Hats. So it's an advantage, or a situation where MVP had the advantage of being able to get, as you said, the early bomb site positioning up aggressive, close to connected to try and fight the CTs, but Order pull off a very nice retake, the double grenades, get rid of the close player, and from there, flooding in as a unit, taking the peaks together. And they do manage to close that one out. So MVP, it's been unfortunate for them that they do lose that without getting any more kills given how well they got onto the bomb site, but it's an important one for Order to get back now to only 1 round away. 12-13 going to be our score here.
The thing for Order is, though, they've always been playing catch-up throughout this entire map.
That's true.
They've never quite really been able to get themselves ahead of MVP PK, and while they are catching up, there's MVP that they're always ahead. They're always still just that little bit ahead. Is it going to be slow and steady wins the race?
Very possibly. This is the last buy for a while for MVP here. They're going to take a save if they do lose this one, I do believe. Not sure what their round loss bonus is at, but they will take the brown halls, forcing Liaz back. There's a double AWP out on the CT side as well, and that's been very, very good for them on trade previously.
So double round loss bonus so far.
Yeah, so
3.
if
they get the bomb down this round, probably can scrounge together a buy. But MVP PK, they definitely don't want to let it get to that position. They want to make sure that they can close it out regardless. It's again going to be the execute out onto the B bomb site. This time, however, Hats is already across. Liaz is already across. 2 players to deal with on the site. Liaz does well to get Zion just dropping off. He'll be traded out. Where's Hats? Where's the impact from the AWP? There it is. Glow goes down. And MVP, they haven't managed to make the entry into the site work. Zeph taking a big chunk of damage there as well. This is not looking good. Not as clean, not nearly as clean for MVP PK.
Well, they did manage to get out into the bomb site. The utility was perfect to force Liaz back, but they've just been caught out. The bomb is going back to A and will be planted unless Alistair decides to peek out at just the right moment. Looks like he's holding a drop, but he'll hear Solo here. Now he's looking for him and does catch him out as well. Even if he didn't, it was a 4v1. So MVP, the utility was really good onto the B bomb site, as you saw. They smoke off to cover their way out so they don't get picked by the AWP as they come out of the upper and lower ramp. They get a Molotov onto Liaz. They even flash him out. They completely blind him, but then only 1 player drops down. And while they do get the trade, that gives enough time for Hats to get a couple kills, start stabilizing the round. And MVP had the right idea, but unfortunately couldn't win the Angels, couldn't find the angles, and they don't go out together as coordinated as they would have liked. That gives Order the chance to tie up the game and take the lead here as, like I said, it is just the pistols out for MVP now. And still the double AWP here for Order.
Yeah, no bomb down for MVP, no gun save through or anything like that, so they can't really get a buy through. And Order, they're going to start to feel it now. At the 11th hour, they are going to sweep the feet away from MVP. Sweep the rug from under their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We get there in the end. Just like Order, perhaps. Still going to be another buy round out from MVP before this map is done and dusted. So we'll see what they have yet left up their sleeve. Though it seems like when the going is tough, they default back to that B execute. They've thrown it a few times now, and the last time they used it, it did not work.
Now Sicko, it's good positioning from him. Throws the smoke, and knowing that they might push through it, he swaps out a rifler into his position so that they can hold that better, because it is quite, of course, difficult to stop someone pushing through a smoke with an AWP, but that gives Sicko time to go up onto the trains. He's found himself 2, and the bomb will be working its way over to B as Zeph looks to make some noise on A and draw out the rotate, but the bomb's fallen. Doesn't matter. Sicko finds 3. Big round from him. Order take 14, and this AWP impact from Sicko is what we've been waiting for a while for that Order CT side. Now it's starting to shine through. 19 frags for him now.
It's a good solid round.
Yeah, they'll get a buyout here. They'll get full utility out as well. But they're going to need to do something with it. They haven't used it too much or too successfully so far. They've had their fast A takes, but Order have managed to find their way through those. The B take last round was a fake, and while they got out, it didn't work too well in the end for them. So let's see what they go for here. In the meantime, it's Hats going to smoke himself into uppers. That's actually just to block that Molotov so that he can have this peek, because he knows they've been Molotoving him. And that gives him a deep line here to find the first kill.
Should have been something MVP would be aware of, knowing that Hats has done that for a deliberate reason. But Solo is going to give up a free pick there to Hats. A nice shot hit by him. And MVP now playing with a deficit from the outset. It's going to be an execute out onto the A bomb site. The double drop. And Alistair just drops himself an incendiary to keep himself alive. This will buy some more time. And Alistair actually gets the kill onto Zeph. Somehow Zeph didn't get back up the ladder.
No, got stuck in the Molotov by the looks of it, which is not what you want. Now the push going to come in for MVP, but they're at a disadvantage. They have ended up into a 3v3, but they've got to make this work.
Sicko gets rid of HSK and EMAG. Did he spot out the player? Well, certainly he's seen Glow. Now it's just Zion. He's got an AK, and we have talked about the star player of this guy very extensively in the past. Now is for a real time for him to step up and show it, but he's not going to be able to do it. Hats closes the round out, and now MVP, they're in a very bad situation. The bye that they get through is not going to be too bad, but they need to win 2 in a row and push it to overtime.
And Order just looks a lot better here. Alistair does well to maintain that SL pressure, and I don't know how that Molotov kill went down. I'm guessing that the player from MVP burning there didn't know. I think it was Zeph was burning and didn't know he was. But it's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes for MVP. They tried to get that execute out onto the A-bomb site, and Order are too ready for it. They've looked a lot better. As you say, at the 11th hour, it's taken a long time, but now they're finally into things, and it's just one more round. MVP have the rifles, but barely any utility. It's going to be on the aim duels here.
An off angle being held by Liaz up in the brown halls. A lot of information over there for the CTs, and potentially MVP to drop if they do walk in that direction. Liaz, though, is rotating his way back into the bomb site. That allows Hats to go back over to A as well. There's a lot of players to deal with here for MVP, as again, they seem to be executing out onto the A bomb site. HSK has already taken a tag. Now Zion working his way through. He's looking to find EMAG, and he does manage to get that. So an opening kill for MVP PK is what they need. Now they just need to trade effectively. So far, they're not being able to do it. Hats and Alistair open up with one apiece. As Order bring it back to a 3 versus 3 as, again, HSK does make an impact. Still 2 versus 2, anyone's game.
Is indeed now the bomb still not yet planted. Hats on the bomb site hits a crucial shot on Glow. That brings it down to Zion. As you say, we talked about the star power, but he needs a 1v2 for this game.
Hats is going to spot him, and that's going to be it. 16-13 up on the board. Order, they close out map 1. It was a tough first half for them, but the second half looked very easy indeed. MVP PK. Time to go back to the strat book and figure out what they want to do on Inferno.
It is indeed. That was a great comeback from Order there in the end to get that 16-13, but that's what they needed.
That's what they needed indeed, and what I need is a bit of Sandman in my life. Let's hand it back to him on the desk.
Well, that's the first time I've ever heard you say that, Elfish guy, but I will take the fact that currently the real Ian Sniper Turner is wrong on predictions here. It's just me and Karath remaining. And look, we were watching that together, and Ian, you did say, look, if Order are going to win one map, they're only going to win Train. That's what you said. That's what you said.
I said it would be Train.
Right.
But you're right.
That's what you implied.
That was my implication indeed. Look, this is a very good map for Order. MVP, they adapted very quickly. They got off to a pretty good lead as well, but then obviously Order on their T side, they're fairly strong. And for me, it was just a couple of key plays here. I mean, we saw a lot of clutches in that game, right? And really none of them went the way of MVP. But when the rounds were going towards MVP, they were fairly convincing. And that's a scary sign coming into Inferno anyway. But this was a must-win map for Order. I just don't see them having a chance on Inferno, but they could surprise us.
I mean, it was a scary sign that MVP were taking all these rounds convincingly, but there wasn't a scary Zion. And that was the issue for MVP overall, because just without that lack of fragging power, we saw Glow having a phenomenal CT half. How many clutch? I mean, you said they didn't win that many clutches, but how many times did he just make long-range engagements look so easy? Mowdowns. What I wanted to say as well is that I felt like Order's T side definitely struggled a lot against MVPs because of the AWP corridors. HSK and Solo with the AWPs, they were hitting all the shots, but they were uncontained. There was no tactical force from Order on their T side talking about, all right, these AWPers are messing up our game plan. How are we going to adapt to this? There was none of that. So by the time they went to the CT side, it was they were already at a 10-5 deficit. So to actually come back from that was very impressive. But like Jordan said, there wasn't much in the strat book. It was, all right, let's go B.
Exactly.
It works a couple of times, and then Order just go, okay, let's call the Liaz hot call line. Liaz, come B. Okay, I kill.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, B is like that as well, and Liaz is a jet on B when he rotates inside and helps out Hats, who I think Hats had a really good game. Also, I just want to point out that MVP, the strat book, was looking a bit empty and a bit bare. They weren't willing to take those same risks that Order were that got them those 5 rounds. Those hard rushes out mid with a smoke wall. Instead, they just wanted to rely on getting picks at Vines. They could kill EMAG every round, sure. Go ahead and do that, Order say. Sicko will just be watching the back aisles. Ali will be just roaming near small ladder. And I think that's something as well where maybe lack of homework from MVP.
Yeah, okay.
Ali is very easy to pick off on this map from that ladder position that he plays because
He said that the Aussie teams would normally know to play
they
against
normally
this.
target him very
Yeah.
hard. And you saw rounds, multiple rounds, where MVP would be getting out mid, getting those aisles, totally just forgetting about Ali's presence towards E-Box.
Well, the result was that Order came through with the victory. They'll be very happy with that one. As you said, if they're going to get a map, it's going to be Train, and that's obviously the start that they needed because the next map is going to be a big ask. If they've dropped Train, they realistically, they probably weren't going to pick up Inferno. So now they at least have this lifeline, Kev.
Yeah, absolutely. And Inferno, we know that Order can definitely play this. Their B site, in recent memory, hasn't been that great. We've always been praising Leas and Hats, obviously, for the train hold. They need to make sure they carry the same form over into Inferno. But for MVP PK, that didn't really feel like the A game on their T side. It was, like we were saying, they were cruising along. They were in the lead. They were feeling pretty happy. Then by the time they realized, oh, we're actually in the deficit, it's too late to turn that around. You can't...
It got to crunch time, and they were behind the 8-ball, basically. And the gun rounds, every time it was a 2v2, they were great. They got it to a 2v2, 3v3. But Sicko just roaming those back aisles, so deadly, nothing you can do about it. And then you've got Hats as well, who was rotating from inside and just being very aggressive.
Yep.
And they just weren't able to deal with that sort of play style, I think. And Inferno, though, that's a whole different kettle of fish. I mean, we've got the way that MVP take Banana on their T side. You've got the way they hold and take Banana on their CT side. The MVP aggression down middle for anti-ecos. I'm expecting a no-respect MVP to come out this next map. Otherwise, I will be disappointed.
Yeah, well, the expectations are, at least from us, that they should be able to now pick up each map. So 1 apiece is the result we expect at the end of Inferno. But for me, the surprising thing was that even though Order won that map, the MVP that we saw didn't look to me like the MVP I expected. If you could, even if you wrote off some of the rounds and things like that, the other rounds didn't look as convincing as perhaps they could have been. And I also have an update that Signature come through with the first map as well on the offstage map, which, did you expect that?
Yeah, probably would expect that. I mean, I think Signature should win that one 2-0 pretty comfortably, but SC, when some of the other guys on that team start to help out Laz a little bit, they do actually look like a fairly decent outfit. Would still like to have seen maybe a showdown with Boot or whatnot again on LAN, but, that's till next time, I suppose. But touching on MVP as well, you saw when they won the first couple of rounds on Train, there was a couple of yelps and they were joking around.
Yep.
I think that just really